Welcome to the Evolving Reality podcast, where I have a doggo who says she needs to come in. Welcome to the Evolving Reality podcast. I'm Hanna Goss. Have you ever experienced something you couldn't explain, but you couldn't ignore? Throughout my life, I've been fascinated by the questions that don't fit neatly into categories. Questions about consciousness, intuition, extraordinary experiences, human potential, and the anomalous. I've also been immersed in science and creativity. Although they often seem like different worlds, I discovered they share the same foundation: curiosity. My curiosity has led me to ask some of the biggest questions of my life. Who am I? What kind of world do we actually live in? What is reality? For the most part, this has been a private journey. I've often felt alone at the intersection of science, spirituality, and the unexplained that few people around me even seem to notice, much less be interested in exploring. But I know I'm not alone. Evolving reality is for thoughtful, intelligent people who have had enough anomalous experiences to know that reality isn't what we think it is. People who aren't looking for someone to tell them what to think. People who simply want a place where they can ask honest questions without fear of ridicule. That's why this podcast exists. This is where we explore together, where evidence, experience, and curiosity converge, and where science and spirit are invited into the same conversation. My journey began when I was young. I was 6 years old and was lying on my back in my front yard in Little Rock, Arkansas, and my mother was working in the yard nearby. And I was laying there looking up at the sky, and I noticed something silver peeking through the clouds. Now, it may very well have been a plane. It might have been something entirely ordinary, but it seemed to remain still just a little too long. And that's when I turned my head toward my mother and was like, "What is that?" And when I looked back, it was gone. I still don't know what that was, but I know it awakened something in me: curiosity. While that experience may have been completely ordinary, it sparked a lifetime of exploring questions that most people just dismiss. Throughout my life, I've had intuitive knowings about things that shouldn't have been possible. I've experienced a profound spiritual awakening, and I've seen things I still can't explain. And each experience changed me. Each answer led to more questions, and each question opened yet another door. Professionally, I've spent my career helping people understand complex ideas, translating science and technology into stories people could understand. That work taught me the value of evidence, discernment, and clear thinking. Alongside my professional path was another journey, one of healing, personal growth, spiritual exploration, intuitive development, and leading me to become a certified professional life coach, Reiki master, and angel card reader. Not because I was looking for certainty, but because I was trying to understand experiences that had already changed my life. Over time, I realized I wasn't unusual. I met scientists, healthcare professionals, and everyday people whose lives have been transformed by experiences they couldn't easily explain, experiences that expanded them, that transformed them, experiences that left them asking bigger questions. Now, I do not claim to have any answers. I'm not interested in becoming anyone's guru. I'm not here to convince you of anything. What I am interested in is creating a space where we can ask questions. Together, we'll explore everything from UFOs and UAPs to cryptids to emerging science and the extraordinary experiences of people that challenge our understanding of reality. Some conversations may affirm what you already believe. Others may challenge those beliefs. Some may simply leave you asking more questions. This isn't a search for certainty. I believe seeking is the path. Every answer opens another door. Every mystery invites another question. Maybe that's exactly how we're meant to evolve. I feel in my heart that humanity is at a threshold moment. For those of us who have been seeking our whole lives, and for those who are just beginning to sense reality shifting, you are not alone. On this podcast, I'll be talking with experiencers, researchers, scientists, and explorers. I'll ask them what happened, what life was like before, how their experience changed them, and how they've made sense of it all, how it reshaped their understanding of themselves, reality, and what it means to be human. I'll ask the questions other may not ask, not necessarily about the experience, but about how it made them feel and the impact it had on their perception of reality. Not because I expect definitive answers, but because I believe the questions themselves matter. I've come to believe that some of the most important discoveries begin with questions most people aren't willing to ask. Not because they're easy questions, because they're uncomfortable, because they challenge our assumptions, because they invite us to imagine reality might be larger than we currently understand. By staying curious about the what if, we expand not only our understanding of reality, we expand ourselves. Along the way, I'll share my experiences, my own awakenings, and the insights I've gathered, not as answers, but as part of the conversation. In every episode, I'll ask my guests one simple question. What experience most challenged your understanding of reality? Because sometimes one moment, one experience, one question changes everything. I've come to believe those threshold moments often become the doorway to profound transformations. If you've ever had an experience you couldn't explain, if you've ever felt there was more to reality than our current understanding could account for, if you've ever wanted a place where science and spirit could share the same conversation, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and review so more people can find us. This is Evolving Reality. Until next time, stay curious. Evolving Reality is created and hosted by Hanna Goss as a part of Hanna Goss Coaching. Music and production support are by Cassie Frankovich. The views and experiences shared are those of the individual guests and are presented to encourage thoughtful exploration and open dialogue. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of the host or any affiliated individuals or organizations. This podcast is intended to create a space where evidence, experience, and curiosity can coexist. Listeners are encouraged to think critically, do their own research, and come to their own conclusions. Nothing shared on this podcast should be considered medical, psychological, legal, financial, or professional advice. Thank you for exploring with us.